Hello and welcome to the On the Nod Pod. I'm your host, Will Rooney, as ever. I'm joined by Andy Kelly, Henry Gibbs, and we have another very special guest joining us ahead of the Cheltenham Festival in a couple of weeks. It is top jockey Daryl Jacob. Daryl, how are we this evening?
Yeah, good afternoon, lads. How are you all?
We're not too bad, thanks. We should be asking how are you after Monday afternoon at Lingfield. That's the starting point we'll get into, Daryl. I mean, it was a crash and fall for yourself. I mean, you escaped lucky from that one, didn't you?
Yeah, to be fair, we were very lucky. It's just one of those unfortunate things. We were hitting top speed, and we were running through to the line, and unfortunately, the horse broke its leg. But commiseration to all the connections and Ben Pauling. It's a sad loss to the yard, and the horse was a lovely horse to have around the place. So it was a sort of a tough day, but obviously the fall was a tough fall. It was a hard fall. It knocked me about.
Definitely condolences to the yard, but for yourself, are you surprised you come through unscathed given the nature of it?
Yeah, I am, to be fair. I know how lucky I am. It could have been an awful lot worse. And I think there's a few people looking down on me from the heavens above that definitely protected me. So speed, going at that speed on the all weather, as a lot of flat jockeys know, it can do a lot of damage.
Is that one of the worst you've had in your career?
It's one of the fastest anyway, that's for sure. I think I'll stick to riding over jumps.
Definitely, yeah. We will talk about your jumps career, Daryl. Obviously, you've been riding over here for a few years now. We'll get into that. But how's it all come about for you? First of all, riding horses when you were a lad growing up in Wexford.
Yeah, look, I done obviously. I done a bit of hunting and all that when I was a young kid. I thoroughly enjoyed my hunting. I'd done inter schools, chasing and stuff like that, and it was Peter O'Neill got me first into it, got me first into riding ponies, and then from there I kind of had a weekend job with Jack Murphy, and just outside in Escorty, and he had a lot of hunters and stuff like that, and I hunted a lot with the Bree hounds, and a point-to-point trainer came up to me when I was hunting one day and kind of persuaded me to go and sit on a couple of point-to-pointers with him and see how I felt. He thought I'd make a good jockey, and at the time, if I'm being honest with you, I didn't know anything about racing. Wasn't the route that I wanted to go down or anything like that. I wanted to be a professional rugby player. And it just sort of kind of went from there to the apprentice centre in Kildare. And then I worked for Des Hughes, the late Des Hughes, God bless him. And I lived with him with, his stable jockey, God bless him, the late Kieran Kelly. And it was actually Kieran Kelly that sent me over to England, really.
When was the moment when you decided that the racing path was for you rather than rugby?
When I got tested, it was a time when a lot of testing was in the rugby, and I got tested, and unfortunately they came back and said that I wouldn't be quite big enough for
it. That's fair enough, but I mean, it's worked out for the best for you. You've obviously had a lot of big winners, and we're all from Liverpool, actually round the corner. All of us grew up from Aintree, and the hardest he career, would it be fair to say, was Neptune Collonges in the 2012 Grand National.
Yeah, look, that was obviously a wonderful day, wasn't it? It's when you come to be a jockey, it's a race that everyone wants to be associated with. First you kind of want to ride in the race, and once you've had a few rides in the race, you get that real buzz, and you want to try and win it. So I've been very, very lucky throughout my career. I've had some nice rides around there, and lucky enough to win it anyway.
I can't believe how big of a price Neptune Collonges went off on that day, because it was a classy animal, wasn't it? And what was the feeling like when you crossed the line, just beating Sunny Hill Boy by, what was it, the closest finish in Grand National history?
Yeah, but like you say, I mean, he was overlooked. I suppose he was overlooked price wise is because of a lot of the statistics said his age, that the age that he hadn't been done for a very long time, and he was, but like you say, he was the class horse in the race, or one of the class horses in the race, and class is class, and thankfully the Queen rose to the top that day, and he came out on top.
Superb. Well, we'll go on to Cheltenham then, Daryl, and I've been speaking for all this podcast, so I'll let the lads go on to this. And Ant is the biggest Skull Royale fan you'll find out there. He absolutely loves the horse. He's telling everyone to back it for the champion hurdle at the start of the season. So, Andy, the floor is yours to gush over your favourite horse in training.
Thanks, Will. Yeah, obviously a big fan of Show Royal. Obviously won the Welsh champion hurdle and nearly failed down at Wincanton. Could have got any closer to Epatante in the fighting fifth without the chaos at the start, or?
No, look at. I mean, she's an exceptional mare. Look at, obviously, you know, the start of the whole race. I mean, Scoraels, he's never made the run in his life before, and you know, all of a sudden he had to go and try and make his own run. And to be fair, the horse was very true. He was very, very professional, and you know, I've kind of winded up the best I could from the front from a horse that doesn't like making it. And you know, I've quickened from the second last. I've quickened well down to the last. I've winged the last, as in I was, you know, one of Scorael very, very quick jumps at the last. I was a length up on her going down to the last, and you know, I've quickened after the last, and I kept galloping through to the line. And, you know, she's just like literally whooshed by me, and it's 3/4 of a furlong, from the last hurdle to the winning line, and she's beat me 4 lengths comfortably. Look at if there was a front runner, Silver Streak had made the run and gone a quicker gallop. Look, you know, who knows? Because I mean, he's gone out and beaten her at Kempton, hasn't he? So, you know, the form, you don't know. These races could be run 10 times, and you could have, you know, 6 different winners of the race. But look, she's an exceptional filly. She was getting weight off me that day, and I don't believe that Scorael's a better horse than her.
Just on Show, what was the thinking behind reverting back to chasing in the Desert Orchids? Is that the potential target for the champion chase now with doing that, or do you think we could go back over hurdles as the champion?
Look, we're keeping. Look, Scorael's very, very versatile horse. You know, he runs in the Game Spirit on Sunday over fences because of the ground. I mean, the ground is key to this horse. He likes it. He likes it good to soft. He doesn't like a very heavy ground. So the ground is key to him. And we thought, you know, around Christmas time he was ready, fresh and well. And, you know, Kempton was the only place around that time that was going to get a bit decent ground. You know, Altior was on a comeback mission. You know, it looked like as if it was a nice opportunity. If Altior if he didn't come out, we had a great chance and beating him. And to be honest with you, from the whole thing, from the start of the race till unfortunately when he stood up a mile too far from that fence, it was just a bit of a nightmare with him. So we've taken him back. He's fresh and well, and like you say, Sunday looks a nice opportunity for him. You know, Altior is obviously not running. Champ is coming back from 3 miles, back 2 miles. You've got Grenadine or Paul Nichols. It looks like a nice opportunity for Scorael to pick up either really good prize money or potentially win the race.
Yeah, obviously in the Desert Orchids, obviously sort of leaked a bit early, didn't he? And sort of come to grief there. No concerns about the jumping at all, though, no?
No, he's jumped. I've jumped hurdles and fences with him since. His confidence hasn't been knocked at all. Like you say, he seems in really good form. We've freshened him up, and yeah, no, look, we're very much looking forward to Sunday with him. I just pray that Newbury don't get the rain that are expecting to get tonight and tomorrow.
No problem. I'm just going to move on now to If the Cat Fits, if possible, Darren. Good seasonal reappearance with beating Fiddler on the Roof and Emerson. I was quite excited about the season ahead then. It was never travelling in the Kaito Star, was he at all? And then stayed on like an absolute strain.
I've no idea what happened to horse that, whether he just had too much Christmas turkey the day before or what, because you know, he definitely made me work my Christmas dinner off me. Look, it's very, very confusing, and some of the races that he's ran since that, he's been a little bit like that as well. You know, in the Kato Star, we put a pair of head cheek pieces on him. I thought it'd just sharpen him up, help him travel and stuff like that, but I think it had the opposite effect on him, if I'm being honest with you. And like you say, the funny thing about it is he was never within 15 lengths of the whole field, and he's only been in the end of the race. He's only actually been beaten 4.5, 5 lengths. So it's very, very strange, a very, very strange and uncharacteristic run from him, if I'm being honest with you. And then he ran a really nice race down at Taunton, and again on a track was probably too sharp from when he bumped into that Yala Enki, who, you know, on his day he's a seasoned pro. He finished third in the Welsh National. You know, he's going to go a good gallop and he's going to try and take the sting out of him. And, you know, he's jumped the last upsides him. You know, and he's a very, very good horse. And I mean, made the running until 2 out against Native River and Bristol and May at Sandown. So, the form of his runs, even though he hasn't been running, is top quality. And he's going to pop up someday, whether it be at Cheltenham or whether it be at Aintree. He's going to pop up one day and he's going to land a big one, because he's got the class, he's got the talent, and he's just got to get it all together one day, and he'll go and win a big one.
Yeah, he's definitely got the class and the talent. Like you say there, he won the Ryanair Stayers, didn't he, at Aintree, when he was owned by the Rooney's. I think he beat Apple's Jade that day. Yeah. Do you think he's a horse that prefers good spring ground? Do you think we'll see the best of him in the spring potentially? The mile may potentially at Aintree, the 3-mile novice.
Yeah, that's obviously going to be his long-term plan before the end of the season is out. But look, he is definitely, there's no shadow of a doubt about it. That's why he's not running at Ascot on Saturday. That's why we pull him out of previous engagements. He's a horse that likes good ground, and we need to keep him fresh and really well because he's got some big targets coming up in the spring, and we want him at his best in the spring.
No problem. Just my final one is just quick one on Concertista. I mean, obviously a cracking win last season, the Mayor's Novice. The way she quickens away before the last was very impressive. Do you get the feeling then she was a proper Grade 1 horse?
Yeah, look, we've always held her in high regard. I mean, she finished her first time over hurdles. The year before, she finished second, only denied by one of Willie's other horses, didn't she? On her first time on a race course.
Yeah.
And her form last year before I rode her at Cheltenham, she was third in a very big handicap at Leopardstown, the Christmas meeting, and she came there. She didn't have a penalty because obviously she was still a maiden going into the race, and she trounced her rivals there. The only thing is the form of that race, the form behind her hasn't really worked out. But at least what she's done this year is she's boosted her own form, if that makes sense, in Ireland, beating the best over in Ireland. So, she's a very, very exciting mare. It's big, scopy, classy type of mare that could do very, very well on the flat if Willie decided to go on the flat with her as well.
Just one last one on Concertista. I mean, she really acts on soft ground, doesn't she? Do you think potential spring good ground could be an issue, or do you think that won't be a problem at all?
She's very versatile. She'll go on soft. She won't go on extreme heavy. She'll go on soft. She'll go on good. A mare like her, you wouldn't be running her on anything quicker than good ground anyway. It's got to be genuine, safe ground. So she's got no problems. If Cheltenham turned up good, you wouldn't be worried about it at all.
No problem. Henry, I think you've got a few for Daryl, haven't you?
Yeah, just a couple again, Daryl. The first one I'll touch on is the usual Raffles. Obviously bounced back well last time out at Cheltenham after a poor run over 2.5. Would you think he'd have? Obviously, you've got Envoy Allen, but there's not much in behind Envoy Allen in the Marsh Novices chase. You think he goes in with a great each way chance?
Yeah, the key to Fusel Raffles is the ground. It's funny because he's got a nice knee action, and you'd think that he'd handle the soft ground quite well. But when he won the Donus and the race of Punchestown, the Grade 1 of Punchestown as a 4-year-old, then the champion 4-year-old hurdle over in Punchestown, they were proper decent ground. And we brought him back then the following year. Then he ran in the elite on soft ground, and he beat one of Paul's other horses. But he had a very, very hard race that day, and he never really went on for that. So he struggled for the rest of that year, as sometimes 4-year-olds do. We've gone chasing with him this year, and his jumping has been very, very good, and we've ran him. But you Toxer to get a nice confidence boost into him, nice rounded jump, and he won nicely then. But a couple of times he got beaten, he's ran at that soft ground, and look, he clearly doesn't handle them conditions. He's a much better horse on proper decent ground. You could even go on the quicker side of good with him, and it won't trouble him at all. So again, he won, and I thought it was very, very brave of the horse to win at Cheltenham the last time, because from the start of that race to the end of that race, he absolutely hated it. He just wanted to get out of there. But I think it shows the courage and the goodness, and also the quality that he has to beat a very good horse of Nick Mitchell's, called Lieutenant Rocco, who I won down at Fosslas a couple of weeks ago, and I think he's a very, very good horse. So for Fusels to get up and beat him at Cheltenham and that sort of ground, showed his real class. So he had a hard race. Then we've got him home. He's nice and fresh. I actually schooled him last week, and he's in really, really good form. He's going to go straight to Cheltenham. Now look at what race we're going to go for with him is undecided. So because we've got Aintree in mind as well for him. So we'll have to sit down close to the time and have a discussion. But I'm sure he'll have an away day before he goes to Cheltenham. He'll go straight to Cheltenham. But for what races, we're undecided yet.
No worries, that's great, Daryl. The next one I'll quickly touch on is a horse that got beat by a neck last year, killed his heart. Will he be going back to the Ultimate?
No, unfortunately, he's picked up an injury, so he's going to be out for the year.
No worries. Condolences there. Hopefully, he gets back to himself for next season. There's one that's maybe flying under the radar slightly for Nigel Twiston-Davis's, a mare called Zambella. She's been quite impressive this season. Obviously, not beating a whole lot, but she ran well behind Annie Mac last time out at the start of the month. Do you think she might have a each way chance in the mare's chase?
Yeah, she's had a fantastic year. You know, she's obviously a novice, you know, and she's beaten all the novices that been put in front of her. Like, she's won 3 listed chases, and she's been placed in another listed chase against Annie Mac. Look, it was a good run around Warwick, but I mean, obviously, John Joe's mare is a very, very good mare. She's higher rated, and she's a second season chaser, where we're still a novice at Souede for the year. So, you know, she's going to be going to Cheltenham. She will run in that mare's chase, but you know, there's a lot of very good Irish horses over there, mares over there that look very, very good as well. William Mullins seems to have a very strong hand in that race, and obviously, you know, with John Joe's mare as well, beating us quite comfortably at Warwick as well the other day. Realistically, you know, it's going to be very, very difficult for her to get involved in a fight and finish. But look, she's very brave. She's very honest. She gives every race 100%, and you know, that's all you can ask for. Whether she's quite good enough is yet to be known. But you know, she's done very, very well. Whatever happens between now and the end of the season, she's done us all very proud.
Yeah, she's only 6, isn't she? So maybe the best years are ahead of her anyway. She might improve over the winter period, and maybe next season we'll see the best of it, do you think?
I think so, yeah. Look, I think there's a bit more to come for her. Obviously, she can make fiddly little mistakes at crucial times in the races, and I think a little bit TLC to that will sharpen that little bit up, and I think you're going to get a little bit more out of her. But like you say, she's not old. She's young enough, and like you say, she's got a very, very willing attitude. She wants to try, and she wants to win. And you know, them type of mares, there's always races to be won with them.
Yeah, that's great. Cheers, Daryl. Is there anything else in terms of Cheltenham that you think maybe sneaking under the radar, maybe from the Ben Pauling yard, or anything else?
Look, obviously we've got a nice bunch of horses that still haven't come out yet. Obviously, you know, horse of William Mullins is there that ran the other day, finished 3rd in the Grade 1. Blue Lord, he's there. He'll probably come over. You obviously got Monte Cristo, who won a handicap at Kempton over the Christmas period. You know, he's an exciting horse that's coming to himself, and you know, again, all the other horses, we don't know what Top Notch is doing yet. We're not 100% sure what Terrafort's doing yet. He runs this weekend. You know, so some of the older brigade horses, you know, they could actually, they're coming down in the handicap, and you know, they could actually sneak into a handicap as well. And you never know. They'd be the class horses in the race. They've been, you know, they're true Grade 1 performers, but the handicapper's given them a little bit this winter with the ground not being suited to them. And if we get a little bit good ground, they could run above themselves and run to really, really decent marks at Cheltenham and Aintree.
Yeah, cheers, Daryl. One that I will just quickly ask about is a horse that to be honest, I thought he might have got supplemented for the Albert Bartlett, and he hasn't been. It was the Cobb that you won well on last time out. Do you think he might go to Aintree instead, or?
Yeah, there is a possibility. I'd imagine he'll end up at Aintree. There's a nice race coming up very soon for him. I can't think of the race now off the top of my head, but he's going to go for that. You know, that day at Doncaster, he was impressive in the way he came home. but you know, the race, the form of that race could be a little bit skeptical coming out. I mean, you know, they took each other on hard from the front from the start, and you know, I had a lovely position. I got him into a nice rhythm, and like you say, the race sort of fell apart at 3 out, really, didn't it? So, and he just came through from the back. But look, don't take anything away from the horse. He's an improving horse. He'd won two races before that, race at Doncaster. So again, he's obviously an improving horse, and a horse that Ben Pauling likes a lot. And hopefully, he's going to have a very bright future. And even when he goes chasing, I think he'll be a better chaser.
Yeah, definitely. And Daryl, I'm sure you're very excited for Cheltenham, but in the back of your mind, I'm sure you cannot wait for the Grand National. Touch wood, everything goes right for Bristol to mine the run up. You must be really excited for that spin around the national fences.
Yeah, I'm very much looking forward to that. I think this year, you know, after he won up at Haydock, he's won 3 of them now, and super performance by him. He's been a wonderful horse to me. To win 3 Betfair chases is an incredible achievement. You know, and this year was sort of, you know, he's at the age now where hopefully, please God, he's performing at his best. And you know, I'm very much looking forward to it. You know, we've all sat down as a team, and we think, you know, if we're going to go for the Grand National, this year is the year to go for it. He's got a nice weight. He's 2 pounds lower than what his official handicap mark is. And I look down through the Grand National entries, you know, the top 60 in the race, and you know, I'm not afraid of any of them horses. And look, please God, he gets there in one piece, and I think he'd really relish it around there, and it's something that I'm very, very excited about.
Yeah, definitely. Do you have any concerns over the extra distance, or do you think he'll be fine?
I think he'll be fine. I think this horse is, I've always said it, he's at his best when he's on a flat left-handed track. No, I don't think the trip will be a problem, especially, you know, there's so many fences there. There's so much time to get breathers into yours, and it's not as if you're going to be racing hard from the flagpole. You know, Bristol just try and get him into a nice rhythm around there. I wouldn't imagine he'll probably have the pace to lie up over the first mile and a half. So it'll be a case of just find a rhythm, just sit where he's happy, and you know, please God, with his class that he's going to have, you know, he'll get me into the race in the second circuit somewhere down along the line, and you know, then you start riding the race for, you know, from the last mile home, you try and start riding the race from there. So no, I don't see it as being a problem. I'm not going there thinking is stamina going to be an issue. I'm going there very, very confident that stamina will be his forte, and it's like you say, he's the class horse in the race.
Yeah, cheers, Daryl. I'll hand you back now to Will. Have you got anything to add, Will? Or?
Yeah, just on Bristol's and Mizell, I know you've talked about not having concerns about the stamina. If it come up really soft over the 4 mile 4 trip, wouldn't that even bother you, running them over that?
Even better.
Even better, that's it. I know he obviously loves the Haydock, doesn't he? But yeah, so that's no concerns at all.
No, so like he say, he's got his best form is on very, very heavy ground, and the softer the better. And you know, it'll get a lot of horses very, very tired, and like you say, I know that, you know, he's got a big stride, and where it'll be hard work for other horses, it'll be very, very easy for him. You know, my one worry actually would be nearly if it was too quick for him, that he would get outpaced, you know, for the first 2 miles of the race, and then you're sort of not on the back foot, but you're not chasing the race. Whereas if it was softer, horses can only go so fast for so long, whereas, you know, heavy ground feels like good ground to him. So no, to be honest with you, the heavier it is, the better for him.
Emery's just on that road now, isn't he? Putting a hose pipe through the fence then.
I'm surprised he's 40-1 Bristol's am I though. Like, I think the bookies continue to just underestimate the horse. Like, it should not be 40-1 in that Grand National, in my opinion.
Bristol doesn't know he's 40-1.
Yeah, true. We'll get on now then while we can.
Will he go to the national trials, Adel, do you think, a Haydock, or?
No, we're keeping him fresh now. He's going to go straight to the Grand National fresh. He's always best fresh, and you know, he's going to need to be very, very fresh, very fit, very well for that day. And like you say, Nigel Twiston Davis, he's trained. How many Grand National winners he already trained? So, hopefully Bristol will add another one to his CV, and it'll be one of the proudest days I've ever had in saddle riding. Simon Munir and Isaac Souede, a Grand National winner.
Just on the topic of heavy ground, just shooting back to Sandown the other week, do you think Mazard Obo, was beaten by the heavy grounds? Because it was impressive last time.
He didn't handle that ground at Sandown the last day. I travel like the best horse in the race until I jumped the last of the railways, and down around that bottom bend, it's very, very soft, very heavy, and he just got his feet stuck in the ground, and he didn't come through. So I just looked after him, because again, he's got some very big spring targets ahead of him, and I need him for that. So I was never going to win that race, so I just looked after him.
Thanks a lot, Daryl. Thank you.
Superb stuff. Well, Daryl, we'll wrap up then. A couple of final questions then heading into Cheltenham. First of all, of the rides that you might have, what would you rate as your best chance for winner?
Look, it's very difficult, because it's hard to say, because we're not 100% sure, finalised on plans and what horses are going to go for what races. But obviously there's some wonderful horses there to look forward to. That any horse that you ride for Simon Munir and Isaac Souede, they're all good horses, and they've all got chances.
And just finally, what would your best bet be if you were able to have a bet? What would you be backing heading into the festival?
William Mullins to be champion trainer.
Unfortunately, we haven't got the money to put that down. If we give you a tenner now, you can have a tenner. What would you give it on? Something with give a little bit of a return.
We got a nice horse called, obviously, James de Burley's Willie Mullins has. He runs in the champion hurdle. He's a big price, and he could run a really good race in the champion hurdle. That's
the source of nugget that we wanted. Well, Daryl, you've been absolutely superb coming on with us. You had to put up with us this evening when you probably wanted to get your feet up after Lingfield. So we really appreciate it, and best of luck at Cheltenham. Best of luck at Aintree. It's a shame if Bristol Might comes in, we can't buy you a pint after it, because we'd have all been there. But best of luck for the rest of the season, and fix up quick after that fall at Lingfield as well.
Cheers, guys. Thanks a minute. It's a pleasure.
Thanks a lot, Daryl. Appreciate it.
Cheers. All the best. Thank you.